Hello friends, and hello enemies. Today we dive back into the world of Four Horsemen Studios with Altarr Cyllovius. And it could be that I'm pronouncing that name completely wrong. It's always a danger here. Another fantastic looking character in the Cosmic Legions line. So we just got our Outpost Zaxxius delivery. We did not go all in on this one. We only got 3 characters from the wave. We got this guy, Callian Shun, and the Sphexian Minor, because I'm a big Sphexian fan, a Sphex head, as you would say. So we will review the other 2 in time, but today's review will be Altarr. He's kind of bundled in there all cozy. Like, I see a space where, like, I think his arm should go, maybe not, but he's just all kind of wrapped up in his cloak. I have to say, the Outpost Zaxxius packaging is my hands-down favorite Cosmic Legions packaging so far. The colors used are just beautiful. Just really, really pretty purples and blues. Gorgeous artwork of that space station. I'm just a sucker for this color palette. It's actually kind of hard to see on him because he doesn't have that much packaging comparatively, but on the Sphexian Minor packaging you can really see it. The Sphexian Minor gets a lot more real estate, so you get to see much more of that pretty packaging. So you get a little blurb about Outpost Zaxxius on the side. It's basically like a neutral space for travelers to stop through. You get all sorts. And then a little bio about Altarr. So he is a Greyborn traditionalist. So Greyborns have access to a transcendental state called the Grey. And nowadays in the Cosmic Legion world, that's used for political purposes. And Altarr does not like that. He does not think that it should be used in that manner. At least that's what I gather from the bio. So he should be a fairly simple one. The only accessories he has are just his staff and some hands, I believe. So let's go ahead and take a look. Warning, choking hazard, not for children under 3 years. If you give this to a child under 3 years old, they or you will be abducted by an alien, not by a person. Somehow being abducted by an alien seems less bad. From what I understand, you usually don't really remember it. Maybe it's better that way. So we usually get these type of illustrated inserts in the back, and they're always a pleasure to look at. This one is no different. Just has like a really pretty hub area for the outpost. It's like a hotel lobby, but you know, in space, with some decorative artwork, some flowers, some signage. Really, really pretty. I'm not usually into backdrops, but I could see myself like arranging these Cosmic Legions by line and then having all the backdrops, the corresponding backdrops behind them. I think that would be pretty cool. Alright, here he is out of the package. A side note, if you hear a strange noise in the background, that is my air conditioner. I've noted this before, but I'm right next to it in this room. I used to just turn it off when I did these reviews, but it gets so hot in here. For the interest of my own health, I'm keeping it on. This way I don't have to take a break every 5 minutes to haul myself gasping for air out of this tiny room and pour water all over myself to cool off. That's a slight exaggeration, but not by much. So of course Altarr shares a body with Aias, and I brought Aias out just so we can see a comparison. The paint is of course different, but you also get a different head sculpt. Not by much, but you can see that Aias has scars. His brow area is a little bit less pronounced, whereas Altarr does not have any scars. He has a little bit of a thicker brow, a little bit of a squarer jaw. He looks a little bit more healthy than Aias, and I guess that would make sense because Aias is stuck in the space prison. Altarr gets to be out living his life, having a great time, I would hope. I love the paints on him. He is of course another gray character, but he's a lot more than gray. He's got a lot of purple tones in him that I really love. And then of course there's that head paint, which is just beautiful, beautiful airbrushy pattern. I've got a little bit of a paint chip on this brow right here, not big enough to be a problem. The eyes on these ones are just crazy, like you can see it reflecting my ring light. It's just a beautiful glossy black, super reflective. I said this about Aias, but the The skin texture on these is fantastic. Very subtle, very realistic. The musculature too is amazing. They're a little bit elongated, but yeah, look at that chest. Just such a broad range of tones. You get some dark here, almost a dark gray, deep purpley, and then a grayish, almost white on the chest here. One thing I will say, and this really doesn't bother me in any real capacity, but he does share legs with Aius, so Aius also has these greaves. I would have preferred for him to just be completely bare-legged. I think that would make more sense. I know that they wanted to reuse as much as possible, but I really would have preferred a bare-legged Greyborn. Pull away a little bit of his clothing to see what he's got underneath. So he's got a really Mythic Legion style loincloth under there, and his skirt is held on with this pitted coppery belt. And I like the design on the back. It looks almost like a tailbone, kinda. And the texture is really interesting. It's very pitted, very rough, actually. Like, it's beyond matte. It's just a super rough texture. Maybe instead of getting rid of these completely, they could have made them the same color as the belt. I think that would have been a little better. As they stand, they are just gray. Like, maybe even just the base gray that Aius had. There's a little bit of silver paint on here. I wonder how that happened. Because yeah, these aren't painted at all, it's just straight gray. So yeah, I would rather not have these or have them the same color as the belt and the loincloth. Of course, we get adorable Greyborn feet. I love these feet. They are so cute. So let's talk about his clothing a little bit. This is my favorite shade of blue. This man has impeccable taste in skirts. Everything is wired, so you can have everything as close to his body or as windswept as you desire. So over that blue skirt, he's got this really cool, like, semi-toga type thing. It's in a beautiful kind of a burnt orange fabric. Very heavily textured. There's a wire in that too. Drapes across his chest. Looks really cool. And then he's got a cloak, because you can't be a mystic without a cloak. Has a hood and everything. This seems to be a little bit less strongly wired than the rest of the clothing, but maybe I am imagining things. It's certainly much more flowy. So the hood is wired as well. I don't know what my dog is barking at. She was barking at nothing, as per usual. So you can work this in a position to make it a little more believable as a cloak hood, but I kind of like it off just to show off that big beautiful head. So with Aius, we got a warning to dunk him in hot water before doing anything with him, and we didn't get such a warning for Altarr, so I guess that they fixed whatever issue they had with this body. We're about to find out, I guess. But then again, I'm not really planning on doing much turning from the middle since he's all clothed up here. Seems that the torso twist is pretty good. I'm not really stressing anything. Usually the minute I feel any resistance for a Mythic or Cosmic Legion figure, it goes into the hot water. But this one seems, it's been pretty easy to manipulate. Lots of head movement. No hair or any kind of a back of the head ornamentation to get in the way. I do kind of wish these guys had neck movement, but that would break up the chest sculpt, which wouldn't be as much of a problem on this one since he's got the cloak, but maybe some people don't plan on keeping the cloak on. I like the cloak, so I think I'm going to keep it on. I'm not really into mixing and matching these. I know some people are. There's like a huge community who like to mix and match. But for these guys, I just like them the way they are. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not very creative when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm probably not, but it's cool that people do that. So let's see. Arm. Of course, we've got a twist. Oh, it's a little bit crunchy. Yeah, the arm is a little bit sticky. Not so much that I'm worried about it. Elbow. Looks like this wrist goes side to side, and of course it has a rotation. We also get wrists that will go up and down. That way you can have him holding his staff in whichever manner you please. There's that torso joint again. Not really any crunch, but you do get that twist. Let's see about the waist. Oh, yep, waist is fine. No problems there. Let's pull apart his beautiful skirt. Right, skirt gets in the way a little bit of thigh articulation, but I think if you remove that it wouldn't be as much of a problem. Out to the side really well. Out that way really well. Knee. The knee doesn't go very far, but I'm not really planning on any crazy action poses with this guy. He's just like a monk, kinda. Rock and rotation on that cute little foot. So yeah, nothing outrageous. It's 4 horsemen articulation. As cool as this guy is, unfortunately he is very bare in the accessories department. He's got some extra hands. He's got these ones that I just showed you. Some trigger finger hands if you want to give him a gun. A lot of the Cosmic Legions figures come with guns, and there's weapon packs too, so it shouldn't be too hard to secure a gun for this guy if you want him to have such a weapon. And then you have some relaxed hands. Again, the sculpt on these is just incredible. That's all for hands, and then the only other thing you get is this staff. And this staff has way more Mythic Legions vibes than it does Cosmic Legions. But this is a traditionalist we're talking about. He's probably a little bit more in tune with nature, whatever nature his planet has. This seems to be made out of some kind of green wood. Very a different look to a staff than we've seen in the Cosmic Legions line. His fingers are rubbery, so they should just open right up. There we go. He looks very regal and dignified. That's part of the reason why I wanted this guy. He just looks majestic. It looks like he knows many things, and he's not going to tell me any of them. So the Greyborn figures are pretty slight. They're slender, but they are taller than average Cosmic Legion figures. So here he is against a Tusk agent, and I would consider this a pretty standard size Cosmic Legion figure. So his height just adds to the majesty. I'm really excited to open the other 2 Outpost Zaxxius figures we have and pose them all together. I really just want to make a big display of Cosmic Legions, just have them all lined up with one another. That hasn't happened yet, but maybe one day. So yeah, a bit of a simpler figure, definitely a lot of reuse. I think all the figures we got have a lot of reuse from previous Cosmic Legions figures, and that's okay, because they change enough about them to make them stand on their own. But yeah, he's simple, he doesn't come with much, but he looks really cool. And the wiring on this clothing is going to be really good for photos, if you want to do any dramatic photos with him with his clothing blowing in the wind, because he doesn't have hair to blow in the wind. Something can blow in the wind. Alright, as usual, thank you so much for watching. Likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome. And I will see you guys in Outpost Zaxxius.